Welcome to Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, with your host, Steve Garrett, lifetime member of the National Corvette Museum, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 45 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. And be sure to visit the Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join our Corvette Today Facebook group there as well. Also, make sure you sign up for the Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at CorvetteToday.ck.page. And if you like YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube as well. And be sure to patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, MidEngineCorvetteForum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of fellow Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at MidEngineCorvetteForum.com. Soul Performance Products. Developed and manufactured in the United States, the Soul Performance Products exhaust portfolio has been tailored to elevate the experience of the world's most exciting sports cars, including the latest generation of the Corvette. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvette. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit Aerolarri.com. That's AEROLARRI.com. And use the promo code CT111 for your $100 discount. Ciocca Corvettes. If you're a Corvette enthusiast, and I know you are since you're listening and watching Corvette Today, then you need to know about Ciocca Corvette. They're based in Atlantic City, where you can find over 100 new and pre-owned vets on the lot and inbound. Ciocca also ships Corvettes all over the country, custom ordered to your specifications. They're staffed with experienced pros who can answer all your questions. So don't compromise. Visit CioccaCorvette.com. That's CIOCCA Corvette.com and find out more. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. E5 Wheels. E5 Wheels is a passionate and dedicated wheel company that serves only Corvette. They make spun-forged wheels for your C8, C7, and C6 Corvette. With the best fitment in the industry, E5 Wheels ensures your wheels complement the aesthetics and functionality while optimizing the performance of your Corvette. Visit e5wheels.com or call them at 305-964-7429. And a shout out to Canadian Corvette Forum and Corvette Forum, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. At the beginning of every new year, I always like to look back at the biggest stories of the previous year. And here to do just that with me is my buddy Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. As you know, Keith is here with me every other week. We always keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. Keith, Happy New Year. Great to have you back on the show, buddy, and happy 2025.
Happy New Year to you, Steve. Glad to be here as well. A lot of exciting stuff happening, but you look back, when we do these kind of look backs at 2024, you're like, wow, there was really a lot of news happening throughout the year and some really big stuff.
Yeah.
Excited to kind of do a recap here and talk about it all.
I am too. Let's start with my first 2 biggest stories, Keith. Tadge Juchter retires from Corvette, and Tony Roma is named the new executive chief engineer.
Yeah, I think this goes without saying the biggest Corvette story of the year was the retirement of Tadge Juchter. He was 67 years old, but he had spent 47 years at GM, got a shot with the Corvette team in 1993 and made the most out of it for sure. In 1999, he was the assistant chief engineer before officially assuming the executive chief engineer title in 2006. And of course, the C8 Corvette is his crowning achievement as the Corvette was changed for that mid-engine configuration. And that was something Zora Arkus Duntov has been wanting to do since as far back as the late 50s. Those were some really big shoes to fill. And then GM, of course, named Tony Romo, who was the former chief engineer for the Cadillac Celestiq, as the executive chief engineer for the newly formed Global Corvette and Performance Cars team. This guy's been at GM for 30 years. He spent time working on both Corvettes and a bunch of Cadillacs, including CTS, ATS, and Celestiq. And, of course, he worked on the V-Series and then the Blackwings. Kind of makes it a natural fit. The guy's a GM Level 6 driver who's logged more than 1,500 laps at the Nürburgring, and he still races there today. So I think we've got a great replacement, but boy, it's really hard to replace everything that Taj brought to the table. But luckily, he had a really competent group of engineers around him, and I think that Corvette's in really good hands.
I agree, buddy. I think our second biggest story is the ZR1 revealed in 2024, 233 miles per hour, 2.3 seconds, 0 to 60, and 1,064 horsepower.
Yeah, there's a reason why Chevy called that the quote-unquote unthinkable. It really just blew minds because everybody was expecting 850 horsepower, maybe 950 horsepower, but that 10,064 just really blew everything away. They did the event down in Miami. Of course, it was live in Miami. Didn't get shown to anybody else, which was disappointing. But we were shocked to hear those performance numbers, 10,064 horsepower, 828 foot-pounds of torque. The engine making it happen is the LS7, a 5.5-liter flat-plane crank engine that was developed in tandem with the Z06's LT6. Of course, where the LT6 is naturally aspirated, the LT7 and the ZR1 uses two 72-millimeter turbos creatively housed in that exhaust manifolds to reduce lag. I mean, everything on this engine was hardened for that high-powered performance, and of course, the test drivers told us how easily it drives at high speeds. They teased us, oh, yeah, it'll do 215 easy. Of course, the top speed was 233 miles per hour, and of course, you said it, the 0 to 60, 2.3 seconds, and it's capable of running a quarter mile in 9.6 seconds at 150 miles per hour. And of course, that makes it the quickest and the fastest Corvette ever produced. We're still in the launch phase here. We're hoping to get some pricing maybe in the next few weeks. Then we'll get allocations to dealers in February. And hopefully we'll start seeing some cars being built maybe in March. So it's pretty exciting times. And of course, the ZR1 is going to be a great natural fit for the C8 Corvette lineup. I just can't wait for it.
Me too, buddy. I can't wait myself. Also, our next story in July of 2024. Now realize this is 5 years into the C8 generation. We finally saw the first Corvette financing incentives, and now dealers are heavily discounting cars.
Yeah, this is really a game changer for Corvette buyers because, we were on the hook for these dealers. Not all dealers were reputable. Some dealers had a list of people that wanted a Corvette, and then they wiped out that list and started charging these outrageous markups. Now that we're in the fifth year of production with the 2024s, GM offered the first ever financing incentives. Special financing rate, I think it was 7.49% for 72 months, which is not all that great at all, but it's something. And then, of course, they were offering a cash rebate for current Camaro owners who purchased a Corvette. With the Camaro going away, it makes sense to try to target those people and get them into a Corvette. As we said, these are baby steps toward hopefully what we'll see is a larger cash rebate or a much lower rate for financing. The second part of the story is you can also call the 2024 the year that dealers started really seriously discounting their full range of Corvettes as inventory stacked up and sales began slowing. At the end of the year, we had dealers discounting Stingrays upwards of 15% off of MSRP. A $100,000 car, that's $15,000 off. So, I mean, that's very significant.
Right.
We then saw those discounts move into Z06 as dealers started getting 1, 2, 3, and 4 on their lots. We had one dealer moving those off their lots at $10,000 or more with discount. Really a turnaround from what we saw at the beginning. And then finally, as dealer inventories grow, we did that Chevrolet Live Tracker inventory look. Back in August, it showed 3,888 Corvettes on the ground. And then in late December, it was 6,646. So nearly doubled. I mean, it took 5 years, but we finally have a buyer's market for Corvette. And then, of course, it's going to be interesting to see how Chevy responds in 2025. Hopefully we'll have rebates, some special financing offers. Dealers will continue to deal and get those cars moved out the door as fast as they can.
I guess this is where we say better late than never, right?
It took some time, and that's a good thing that it took time. The crazy thing is, if you look at production, I haven't figured it all up yet, but there's got to be at least 160,000 Stingrays out there, and maybe even more, that have been produced since 2020 in late December.
Yeah.
That is a lot of Stingrays. We're closing in on what we did total for C7 production, and we still got a few years to go, so some exciting stuff is still going to happen. But like I said, it's a buyer's market out there, and it's making it a lot easier for anybody to get behind the wheel of a Corvette these days.
Absolutely right. Also, Chevrolet retired 7 Corvette colors for 2025, but they gave us 3 new colors, and you've got one of them.
Yes, Steve. We're used to seeing 2, maybe 3 color changes during a model year changeover, but we were really surprised to hear that Chevrolet was going to retire 7 colors, which really includes some popular shades. We did get 3 new colors, but ended up with just 10 exterior colors for 2025 instead of the 14 like we had for 2023. Those colors that were discontinued were Accelerate Yellow, Amplify Orange, Carbon Flash Metallic, Silver Flare, Hypersonic Gray, Ceramic Matrix Gray, and Cacti. And then in their place, we got Competition Yellow, Hysteria Purple Metallic, which is my favorite. And, of course, coming back, this is interesting, too. They brought back Sebring Orange, which first debuted on the 2019 Corvette, and it was actually the signature color for that 2019 ZR1. It was carried over to 2020 and the 2021 models before being replaced by Amplify Orange. So very interesting that they brought back a color of the same generation that they discontinued it. GM says that by reducing color choices, it helps to simplify the production process. However, I think it does leave the door for maybe the ZR1 to have an exclusive color, which I think is something we'd like to see as well. Pretty interesting stuff happening there. We're going to continue to keep an eye on it. Of course, as we get into April and the bash, we should have a little bit better of an understanding on maybe some of the new colors that are coming out for 2026.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. Also, our final story in the news section, Keith, GM is offering reimbursement for C7 Grand Sport and Z06 owners to help them fix their cracked wheels. Wow, that's a big, big thing.
Well, this was a long time coming. It obviously took several class action lawsuits before GM acknowledged that cracked wheels on the C7 Grand Sport and the Z06s were a problem. They still are not taking responsibility for the manufacture of these inferior wheels, but they are offering a way for those customers who are impacted to possibly make a new claim for reimbursement against this program. It's General Motors, so owners have to jump through some hoops. They have to submit proof of payment of their repairs or replacement. And of course, it depends on whether owners took their wheels for repair or replacement at a GM authorized dealer or someplace else. The crazy thing is that this deadline for the reimbursement program is like 3 weeks away. If you are one of those that replaced some wheels, take a look at that letter that went out. You can find it on CorvetteBlogger, and hopefully you can get some sort of reimbursement or get repaid for some of the repairs that you made.
Sounds good, buddy. Well, let's take our first break. When we come back, the biggest stories in Corvette racing and Corvette rumors are on deck next, here at Corvette Today.
We all know that wheels make the car. Wheelcraft's PVD chrome finish in bright chrome or black chrome will take your Corvette to new levels, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Durability is a defining feature of the Wheelcraft finish. Their PVD chrome is superior to traditional chrome, with a finish that is brake dust resistant and cleans effortlessly with soap and water. Wheelcraft offers factory wheel exchange for select C4 through C8 models, or they can apply the PVD finish to your current wheels. No matter what generation you own, Wheelcraft will transform the look of your Corvette. With every Corvette comes a unique story, and Wheelcraft has embraced this idea. When you purchase your new set of wheels, you receive a lifetime membership to the Wheelcraft Pit Crew, granting you access to your own page on Wheelcraft's website, where you can post pictures and tell your Corvette story. Visit our website at wheelcraft.com or call 833-639-4231. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
The National Corvette Restorers Society is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. 50 years of affirming and promoting the preservation and restoration of the Corvette. 50 years as the foremost Corvette collector car organization for building value with its prestigious awards. Have you ever considered joining NCRS? Over 70,000 people have. We're so much more than just the nuts and bolts. The NCRS flight judging program can and often does increase the value of America's sports car by researching and publishing the leading tech manuals and judging guides for the 1953 through 2007 Corvettes, by training the best judges, and by hosting local, regional, and national judging events. And when you join, you'll get award-winning magazines like Corvette Restore and Driveline all throughout the year. Joining is simple and easy. Just go to ncrs.org and sign up. There are NCRS chapters all throughout the U.S. and all around the world. Chances are there's a local chapter near you. So join NCRS today at ncrs.org. We come for the Corvettes. We stay for the friendships made along the way.
Hi, I'm Mark Falter, host of the Retirement Income Hour podcast and Corvette enthusiast. I know when I bought my Z06, I was thinking two things. These cars are fabulous, and wow, are they expensive. Owning a Corvette isn't just about driving fast, it's about living life in the fast lane. But are your finances keeping up? On my podcast, I make wealth management as smooth as your Corvette on the open road. Whether it's planning your retirement, building your investments, or how to get enough income from your retirement to pay for your Corvette vision, I got you covered. Search the Retirement Income Hour podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and let's shift your finances into overdrive. I'll see you on the open road financially and literally.
Investment advisory services offered through Mid-American Wealth Advisory Group, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm.
For the best in CB Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray aftermarket carbon fiber replacement components and body kits, check out RacingSportConcepts.com or call 1-800-815-3751. Tell them Steve sent you to save 10% with coupon code Corvette Today.
Join us at the world's largest collector car auction, Mecum Kissimmee, January 7th through 19th. An estimated 4,500 vehicles, including hundreds of Corvettes, will cross the auction block. And Friday, January 10th is Corvette Day. Meet Steve Garrett of the Corvette Today podcast and Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. Join Corvette lovers from across the country for a tour of the venue and learn more about some of the Corvettes consigned to the auction. Corvette Day at Mecum Kissimmee 2025, Friday, January 10th. Go to Mecum.com to register to bid and use the promotional code VETDAY to get a discount on tickets. The experience begins at Mecum.com.
Happy holidays from Corvette Today. Now, back to the show with your host, Steve Garrett.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. It's the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Look, I know you want your Corvette looking its best, so dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit Wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you also get a 5-year warranty. So visit Wheelcraft.com today or just give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my buddy Keith Cornett from Corvette Blogger. We are covering the biggest stories of last year in 2024. In segment 2, we always cover Corvette racing and Corvette rumors. Keith, let's start with Corvette racing. We had big management changes for Corvette racing, didn't we?
Yeah, so end of 2024 racing season, Chevrolet announced some changes to its sports car racing program, mostly on the management side. We've got a couple cars coming extra for Rolex 24, and a couple new teams have been added, but really kind of the management side is what we're talking about here. For the last 3 years, manager of the General Motors sports car racing program was Laura Weintraub-Klauser. Now she is going to be headed to another assignment over on GM's production side. I guess she's going to be becoming the engineering group leader for global hardware systems and integration. She seems very competent and will do very well there. I think what GM's doing is they're moving people in, giving them a taste of it, and taking that experience back to production. And that's a good thing, I guess. You know, we really want leaders that are competent and really prefer someone that knows the job as opposed to learning on the job.
Right.
These are all pretty much set. And of course, the people around there help out these new leaders anyway. So I think it'll all be all right. The other change that happened, Christine Bagney will move from her current role as Corvette Z06 GT3R program manager. She's moving back into corporate strategy as a senior analyst. I don't know what that is, Steve. Corporate strategy as a senior analyst. Taking over racing duties next season will be 2 new women, Keely Bozen and Jessica Dane. Dane has been named Corvette Racing Program Manager for the Corvette GT3 programs. She actually comes from Motorsports Integration Manager at GM Motorsports, so she's been with us for a little bit. Bosnan will become Cadillac Racing Program Manager after currently serving as Future Tech and Mobility Planning Manager in Competitor Intelligence Technology and Mobility Planning. Wow.
Put that on a business card, right?
That was a mouthful as well. There's a lot of titles that GM has that I frankly have never heard before, but you're bringing people from different parts of the company, giving them a taste of another part of the company, and then eventually they'll move to a third part of the company, I guess. Speaking of Corvette racing, we got 5 Corvette Z06 GT3Rs coming up in the Rolex 24 Daytona. That race is January 25th through the 26th. That's pretty big news as well.
Yeah, that is big news. Also big news is Autosport Magazine revealed its Nürburgring lap time for the Z06.
This was German automotive publication Sport Auto. They actually have a series where their pro driver, Christian Gebhardt, laps the Nürburgring in various vehicles. I mean, it could be a Honda, it could be a Porsche. It was the Corvette Z06 this time. Actually, what GM did was they brought over a US spec Corvette Z06 with the Z07 performance package. Once the results were in, Corvette fans were a little let down with the time, which was 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Just a month after that, Ford would announce their Mustang GTD would be the first American car to break that 7-minute barrier with a time of 6 minutes and 57 seconds. We wonder, would a Corvette racing driver have done better? Would Aaron Link, a factory driver for GM, would they have done better than Sport Auto? So you got to kind of wonder about that. We really dislike GM's policy of not pursuing lap times with these cars like the Z06. The Z06 is the definition of a track weapon. I mean, that's what they tell us. These times are an important part of the marketing for the cars. We've got the ZR1. Hopefully we can get a time for that. Will it compete well with the other cars? Will it be under 7 minutes? There's a lot going on with that Nürburgring time, and maybe the Ford GTD might just be the catalyst to get GM to say, you know what? We need to spend a little bit more time over there, spend some marketing dollars, and see what we can do.
Yeah, definitely. Also in the racing category, Keith, the E-Ray paced the 2024 Indianapolis 500, and this is cool, the ZR1 is going to pace the Indianapolis 2500 this year, and Michael Strahan is going to be driving.
Yeah, they announced this really early, which was kind of crazy. As you said, 2024 Corvette E-Ray, it was the first hybrid to ever lead the pack of IndyCar drivers to the green flag for the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500. It was an E-Ray coupe in Arctic white with red graphics, visible carbon fiber wheels, and the ground effects package. And of course, the celebrity driver that drove the Corvette E-Ray pace car was Ken Griffey Jr., Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, and a guy from Tampa Bay, by the way.
Nice.
But the surprise announcement came. Fox Sports got the coverage rights for the 2025 IndyCar season. I think there's like 17 races throughout the year. And of course, one of those will be the 2025 Indianapolis 500. They made that announcement during a Fox NFL pregame and told us that Hall of Famer Michael Strahan will be the official driver for the car. In the studio, they had the black ZR1 show car with those blue wheels, but a specific livery design for the ZR1 pace car will come out probably late April, early May. So pretty excited about that. But yeah, it kind of took away one of our surprises for late April, early May, but yet we'll still have the design of the car to look forward to. By then, they should well be into production. So exciting times for ZR1.
Definitely. In the rumors category, Keith, we had some Zora sightings, or at least we thought we did, didn't we?
Yeah, development continues on future Corvettes. It's widely believed that one of those will be the Corvette Zora model. It features the twin-turbo LT7 combined with an E-Ray front drive motor that could deliver a mind-blowing 1,224 horsepower, I think that number was. During testing sessions that we captured this summer, we saw GM engineers with both the ZR1 and the Zora models. We know that they're the Zora because, thanks to the Corvette E-Ray, we have a specific piece of electrification technology. You look for that front right radiator, and if there's a vertical one on top of it, you know that they've got a special cooling loop that is the same one used for the E-Ray to keep all the electronics and the batteries cool there.
Right.
We actually saw the Zoras both in June and then again in October as they were testing in Colorado. A lot of talk about if this is going to be the next car up or could it be the Grand Sport?
Yes. What about the Grand Sport? Do you think we're still going to get one?
Well, despite evidence to the contrary, and when I say evidence to the contrary, there was that leak of the 5 different Corvettes still to come out after the Stingray.
Right.
That was Don Sherman did that, I think, with Haggerty. And that list has almost been spot on. I mean, a little bit differences here and there, but for the most part, he's nailed it. And of course, that list doesn't show the Grand Sport. But the problem with Corvette spotting a Grand Sport is that GM can easily hide it in any of the 3 different vehicle styles. You got the Stingray, you got the wide-body Z06 E-Ray, and then you got the new wide-body ZR1. They could hide anything under those cars, put on the badges, put on the wheels specific to that car, and we would never know anything different. The reason why we're talking about this is because back in November, there was a wide-body camouflage car with a corner-mounted LT2 style exhaust. It was spied without any aero driving in Detroit. That kind of had us humming that song, Things That Make You Go, because there's just something different about that, and people were talking about it. I've got some friends that really think a Grand Sport's going to happen. One of them's telling me he thinks it might happen before the Zora comes out, which would make a lot of sense, especially in 2026.
Yeah.
Because the fact that we might be seeing that interior refresh happening would make sense then to bring out a car that could compete for those previous Stingray owners, get them something to upgrade into, brand new car, wide body looks, maybe a little bump in performance over the Stingray, but still very much the Grand Sport, the best of both worlds.
Yeah, definitely. And also another rumor, Mark Roy says that Corvette is going to stay under Chevrolet.
Yeah, we've heard these rumors swirling for years now. General Motors is going to spin off Corvette into a separate high-performance brand of its own. There's going to be 2-seaters, there's going to be sedans, there's going to be SUVs, the whole bit. But then during a visit to Jay Leno's garage, GM President Mark Royce threw some cold water on it, saying we'd never take it out of Chevrolet because it's the core of Chevrolet and it's what it does. You get more for your money. He also suggested that it might not be a Corvette-branded SUV or sedan in the works after all, saying to Leno, we don't need to go out and do other things. This is one of these rumors that's been around for years. I kind of go both ways on it. I think possibly having some Corvette-branded vehicles under like an SUV or a sedan, as long as they're done with the Corvette brand in mind and not just slapped on there, I think that could be a great way to get people into those cars. Of course, we have a lot of Corvette owners that just really have trouble getting down into those low cars. And of course, you can get into them easy. It's getting out of them is sometimes the hard bit.
Right.
So it might make sense if they could come up with like an SUV, like the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
It's actually the best-selling Lamborghini is an SUV these days.
Yeah, the Urus.
I think it goes both ways. Glad to hear that Mark Royce kind of put his flag there in the sand, and we'll see what happens.
Definitely. And our final rumor, Keith, this was interesting because we also had him on Corvette Today. The C1 Corvette VIN number 1 was presented at Bloomington Gold.
Yeah, so we first started hearing about this story, I guess it was in 2023, that Corvette 1953 VIN 001 had actually been hiding in plain sight for all these years. It was during the 2024 Bloomington Gold Show that the car and all the evidence was presented to the public by Corey Peterson. He hosted a couple seminars on the car. He had all kinds of documentation with him. He walked around. It was all question and answer formats of how does he know this and how does he know that and how does stuff line up from these GM documents that make it look really like these are the VIN 001 car. It's a fantastic story. I always say we'd really like to see these claims get verified. It's people like Corey Peterson are the experts in this really early Corvette stuff. They know the documentation. They know people that worked on these cars. So they are the experts. I do stand on the side that this is probably the very first Corvette VIN 001 car. I feel like it just needs a little bit more to get more people over the hump and accepting it as well.
Yeah, and if you want to hear that story from Corvette Today, Corey Peterson is on episode number 222, which debuted on July 15th, the week of July 15th. He talks all about Corvette VIN number 1. You can check it out on CorvetteToday.com. All right, Keith, time for our final break, buddy. When we come back, it's the fun side, the lighter side of Corvette on deck next, here on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
Hey, Corvette lovers, this is Brian Sarr from IntelliSense Family Office. You've formerly known us as True Wealth and Company. First off, a huge congratulations to Steve Garrett on celebrating 5 amazing years of Corvette Today. We've been proud sponsors every mile of the way. You know the thrill and drive and the pride of ownership, but here's the big question. Do you have the same confidence in managing your wealth? At IntelliSense Family Office, we specialize in helping high net worth individuals like you protect, grow, and enjoy their wealth. Whether you're a successful entrepreneur, a professional athlete, or someone who's worked hard to achieve your financial goals, we've got you covered with personalized expert advice. We understand the unique challenges you face and the dreams you have for the future. From advanced tax planning to succession planning, we provide comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Our goal? To give you peace of mind so you can focus on what you love. Ready to take your financial management to the next level? Visit IntelliSense.com or reach out to us today at 913-653-8783. Let's drive your financial success together. I'm Brian Sarf, and I look forward to helping you live the dream. Save the wave and see you on the road. Investment advisory services offered through IntelliSense Investment Solutions Incorporated, an SEC registered investment advisor.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
Rev up your ride with the ultimate upgrade. The Radiator Grill Store is your go-to destination for top-notch C8 Corvette Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray accessories. Elevate your style with custom-painted engine bay covers, sleek front splitters, and side skirts that scream sophistication. Keep your C8 protected with premium Radiator Grill screens. Stand out from the crowd at car shows and beyond. Use code CT10 for an exclusive 10% discount off your total purchase at RadiatorGrillStore.com. Don't miss out on turning heads. Upgrade your Corvette today.
VetteFinders.com is the internet's original Corvette classified ads website, with classified ads starting at just $25, and every ad runs until your Corvette is sold. If you're in the market for a Corvette, VetteFinders.com has over 500 Corvettes for sale from all around the USA and Canada, and covering all 8 generations. Visit VetteFinders.com, the internet's destination for buying and selling Corvettes. That's VETTE Finders.com.
You're enjoying the only current podcast on Corvettes, Corvette Today.
Hey, thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. You want your Corvette looking its best, don't you? Well, dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you also get a 5-year warranty. So visit wheelcraft.com today or just give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my buddy Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. We are covering the biggest stories of last year. In this final segment, it's the fun side, the lighter side of Corvette. Keith, the Corvette lineup is the only car left in the Chevrolet lineup.
Steve, it's pretty hard to believe considering some of the great passenger cars made by Chevrolet over the years with names like Impala, Chevelle, Camaro, Bel Air. But 2024, both the Camaro and the Malibu ended production, leaving the Corvette as Chevy's only car in their lineup. I joke, I said Chevrolet became GMC almost overnight by retiring these cars. But it's not the first time that either Camaro or the Malibu have ended production and been brought back. So it's possible that they could come back later on. And of course, the Camaro is one of those rumors that will return someday soon as an EV, so anything's possible. But yeah, for right now, Corvette is the last car standing at Chevrolet.
That's amazing. Also, this is a weird story, Keith, and I know you had a lot of views on this. IC Cars says that the Corvette is the second most dangerous car on the road. What?
This was our top story for 2024 in terms of page views. We had, I think, a little over 250,000 page views in just a couple days off of it. IC Cars does studies like this all the time. They use data and then they extrapolate the results and come up with an interesting conversation, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
This study says that the Corvette ranks as the second most dangerous car on the list, with fatal accident rates nearly 5 times higher than the average vehicle. The Corvette was also joined on the list by the Porsche 911, and the reasoning is that sports cars inherently encourage risky driving habits by some drivers. We know there's a lot of crashes due to speed involved, but Corvette is a safe car when driven responsibly, and it can save your life if you come across someone else that's not driving responsibly. Take this one with a grain of salt. Thank you for the page views on this one, peeps. It really meant a lot.
Yeah, I kind of call BS on this story, but it's gotten a lot of views, that's for sure. Also, at the National Corvette Museum, we had the 30th anniversary caravan of the museum, and we had the Corvette Hall of Fame inductees as well.
Yeah, they do the Corvette Hall of Fame inductions during the anniversary celebration. Of course, they were announced earlier in the year at the Bash. The class of 2024 included Oliver Gavin and Jan Magnuson in the racing category, author, historian, and photographer Richard Prince in the enthusiast category, and retired executive Corvette chief engineer Tad Juchter in the GM category. These ceremonies are top-notch. I encourage you, if you're going to be anywhere near Bowling Green this year in September for the next inductee ceremony, it's worth it to attend. Each of the inductees was featured in a video highlight reel. Really cool stuff there. And then a current Hall of Fame member invites them up to stage to receive their award and make those remarks. Oliver Gavin was introduced by former Corvette racing program manager Doug Feehan. Unfortunately, Jan couldn't be there because he's managing a racing team in the WEC, so we did not see him. Mid-America Motorworks founder Mike Yeager introduced Richard Prince, whose thank you speech rivaled many of the endurance races that he covers. He gave a long one there.
Yep.
And then former chief engineer Tom Wallace introduced Taj Juchter to the stage. And of course, Taj took over for Tom when Tom retired. So it's like a little bit of a passing of the torch there. The next class will be announced at the NCM Bash in April 2025. We're kind of excited to see who's going to make it this year.
Always excited about the Corvette Hall of Fame. Speaking of the National Corvette Museum, the museum finished second with USA Today's Best Car Museums, and it was also named a Blue Star Museum.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. Again, the best attraction for car lovers in the 2024 USA Today 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards. National Corvette Museum came in second there. Winning the top honors was a relatively new automotive museum called the Savoy Automotive Museum, which is just off of Interstate 75 in Bartow County, Georgia. These are all reader-generated, and there's a list of 10 there. Definitely be a fun thing to do, be like if you're doing a road trip to see like how many of these museums that you could hit along that way. The Blue Star Museum is a shout out to the museum for allowing free admission, I believe, for military members.
Oh.
It just means that they're working with those veterans. Again, congratulations to the National Corvette Museum on 2 of those honors.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of awards and honors, we had a lot for the Corvette in 2024, didn't we?
Yeah, this seems like a great way to close out the best of 2024 because I always say that the trophy cabinet at the Corvette team's got to be pretty huge these days because we had no less, I think, than 9 different awards granted to them in 2024. And we've got some of these headlines. Back in January, Motor Authority names the Chevy Corvette Z06 the best car to buy in 2024. The 2024 Corvette wins J.D. Power's 2024 Canada ALG Residual Value Award. And then, of course, 2024 Corvette makes the top 5 in KBB's 2024 Best Resale Value Awards. Those are both really good things to have. It's official. Motor Trend named the Corvette the most iconic car of the past 75 years.
Yeah.
Think about that. You know, Motor Trend magazine started just a few years before the Chevy Corvette, so they've almost grown up together. So it's great to see that the Corvette gets the nod as being that most iconic car for the past 75 years.
Yes.
The 2024 Corvette E-Ray was a contender for Motor Trend's Performance Vehicle of the Year. Unfortunately, it didn't make the finals, but it was great that it was part of the contenders, the first grouping. We also had the Corvette E-Ray named to the award's 10 best engines and propulsion systems for 2024. Of course, it's got the hybrid battery pack, the front motor combined with the LT2 engine in the back. Next award, Corvette ZR1, which, you know, is crazy because they haven't even made them yet. But the Corvette ZR1 picked up an award from Top Gear as 2024's best performance car.
Yeah.
I think that's just a lot of, we can't wait for it to be here kind of things. And then the last 2, the C8 Corvette named to Car and Driver's 10 Best list for the 6th consecutive year. Every C8 has been on the 10 Best list for Car and Driver, and that's simply the 10 best list of cars to own that year. So pretty cool there. And then finally, 2024 Corvette E-Ray was honored as the Auto Guide's 10 best cars they drove in 2024.
Nice.
It's not just one publication. It's all these kinds of different honors. It's these research groups like J.D. Power, Kelley Blue Book that kind of look at everything that Corvette has to offer, and they like it. A great way to end the year by talking about these fantastic awards for the C8 Corvette.
Definitely. Well, buddy, thanks for being back on Corvette Today. I'm looking forward to a great 2025 doing news and headlines with you.
Absolutely. Going to be great. We're actually going to see each other in a week or so. We're going to be at Meekum Cassini's auction together for Corvette Day. You can get discounted tickets by using VETTEDAY, VETTEDAY, as your promo code. Hopefully you can come out. We're going to be out at the show on Friday, January 10th.
Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today. And be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today show. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-639-4231. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Ciocca Corvette at CIOCCA-Corvette.com. E5 Wheels at E5Wheels.com. IntelliSense at IntelliSense.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels. Get $100 off your purchase with the new promo code CT111 at Aerolarri.com. Racing Sport Concepts at RacingSportConcepts.com. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. If you'd like to contact Steve with ideas for Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Also, sign up for email notifications at corvettetoday.ck.page. Follow Steve and the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Threads at Steve Garrett DJ. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today.